just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked.
She was 13 years of age. Taken out of this world by an illegal immigrant.
Undocumented immigrants are much less likely to have committed crimes than American citizens.
Welcome to The Right Angle. Let's get into it. So, our world is messy. And the only thing that brings us comfort, lets us live with one another, are the laws that we've created for each other. Laws based on similar moral philosophies and a society that aims to meet those lofty ideas. Without that cohesion, we are lost, we are lawless, amongst many other things. We have been lawless so long over the last 4 years that I think people have forgotten what the law means. The law is blind. The law is just. If it were not just, it would not be the law because a moral people would not create it in the first place. You may say to yourself, well, if those moral people were wrong. Well, that brings me to the immigration problem facing our country. In the last 4 years with the previous administration, over 10 million illegals that they have on the books, it's probably upwards of 20 to 30 million, were brought into our country without our permission, without our say-so at all. And if you can't get permission from the society, if you do things sort of in the darkness, like fly people in the dead of night to different parts of the country, let in millions, hide the numbers, if you don't have that permission from the society, then you're in the wrong. But some will have you believe that that is okay. And if you think that breaking laws is wrong, then actually you are the problem. Let's take a look.
But 87% support deporting criminal undocumented migrants.
Well, I don't know anybody in the world. I don't know anybody in the world who wants to keep the criminals. I don't know anybody.
That's where you should be focused.
Can I say something? Because, we keep on talking about criminals and immigrants being criminals. And I just want people to understand what the facts are and the stats are, is that undocumented immigrants are much less likely to have committed crimes than American citizens. American citizens commit more crimes than anyone who is undocumented. I also want to make the point that an undocumented immigrant is not a criminal because he or she is undocumented. That is a civil offense. So to call people illegals is, in and of itself, I think, xenophobic and racist.
You see, it's always a word game with the left. If you don't do what they say that you should do, then you're some kind of ist or you have some kind of phobia. Xenophobia means that you're afraid of people that are different than you are. Racist means that you hate a certain group. The people being deported are from all over the world. And mind you, these are people who have done heinous things. And you see that they make a point of it to say that, oh, these people are so much better than Americans. Americans do more crime. Every single person in this country illegally has committed a crime, which means every single person in this country illegally has a 100% crime rate. Now, you could try to divvy up the wording and say, oh, well, it's a civil offense. Well, it's an initial civil offense unless you overstay your visa, unless you come back in the country illegally, unless you work illegally. So they're not mentioning all those things. All those things lean into felonies and other things of that nature. So you have to keep that in mind. So like I said, being in this country illegally is a crime. We cannot pick and choose what law to follow. Should we start saying that speeding is okay just because you feel like you got to get to somewhere that you want to go to? Should we say murder is okay if the person really deserved it? I don't think so. So again, saying it's just a civil offense is just a lazy attempt to really gaslight people. And for those saying stuff like no human is illegal, How can that be true? If I decided I needed your car or your truck because I was struggling economically, would it be okay for me to take it? Because having citizenship is like taking possession. So as citizens, we have these different things that we have a right to. If you allow the number of people coming in, then those resources get thin. What are the resources? The resources are the jobs. Why can't our teenagers get entry-level jobs? Because all the illegals are taking those jobs. Why can't you get a appointment within the week like you used to be able to? Because the emergency rooms are filled with people who shouldn't be here. Why do our kids have to learn different languages in school? Or why are our resources that should be for our kids that we pay for kind of moved to other spots? That's because we have this influx of children that we have to pay for. Why has our rents from 10 years ago increased by nearly 200%? Because you have more people than we have houses for. It's simple. When they take over these resources, then that limits our resources. So citizenship begins to mean nothing. And I don't think that is the right thing to do. I don't think that's stuff that must be done. And I think other folks are starting to get the point.
The federal government has lost or misplaced $1 trillion in 2024. $1 trillion is gone. They cannot account for it. Every single thing that this man does, you guys always have something to complain about. What the fuck did Biden do? What did Biden do with our tax money besides send billions overseas for people to blow each other up? Spend hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal immigrants for free healthcare, free clothes, free food, all while the American taxpayer, who pay $1,000 a month just in healthcare, can't even get a fucking doctor's appointment. Get your heads out of your asses.
So where's the lie? What did he say that is wrong? What did he say that is incorrect? The things that people see as a visceral part of their everyday lives does not equate to the bigger picture and the way that things are intricately woven throughout our society. This affects that thing. This thing affects that thing. We have to understand that the entire system is ripe for collapse. And this is not an exaggeration. We are $37 trillion in debt. The guy earlier in the video talked about the freeze, the freeze that Trump did on funding, which the media has lied about, saying that it's also for Medicaid and everything else like that, which is a lie. It doesn't touch individual benefits. It touches mostly money out the door, but we'll talk about that later. But when you think about the things here, and when you think about what illegal immigration is, think about yourself. Think about the individual, because the individual, again, is meticulously woven into the whole. And the whole is a scenario like this. As an individual, would you let, let's say, a person in your home that you didn't know, that came in there with your wife, your kids, who you didn't know again, who just came here, who wasn't vetted, who no one knows anything about, but would you let them in? And then think about that person demanding that you pay for their food, you pay for their health care, you pay for their clothing, and you allow them to stay in your home as long as they want. And if you want them out, you can't kick them out because it's not the right thing to do, quote unquote. So think about that. That's what's happened in the last 4 years. That's what's continually happening in some of these more blue counties and blue cities and blue states, is that they continue to allow all these folks who we don't know to stay in the country. Now, there is many ways you can look at it. I personally, and this is just my opinion, I think the purpose is for the Democrats to obtain congressional power via the electoral, or not the electoral college, but the census that's done every 10 years. Because the more people you have, it doesn't matter if they're illegal or not. The more people you have in your district, the more power you obtain. And since all these people are being magnets to sanctuary cities, I think the sanctuary cities were created on purpose for that purpose, to have more people within the cities Damn the conditions of the natives. They just want power. Now, if you think I'm lying about that, watch the census fight in a couple of years when the Trump administration goes to the Supreme Court to remove non-Americans from the census rolls, and you'll see how hard the Democrats fight. They'll fight like for those illegals like they've not fought for anything at all. But as we look at what's happening in the landscape, one thing that we can see ourselves, along with that video from The View, are videos like these.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Where were the tears for the 350,000 children in the last 4 years that have gone unaccounted for, that have been sex trafficked, that have been labor trafficked, that have been disappeared? Where were the tears for those? And why the tears for people who have molested children, who have murdered, who have committed other sexual acts? Why is she crying about these people? And why is she calling them my people? What does she mean by that exactly? And the video itself is a bit off-putting. Think about this Selena video, right? You have to be in an emotional state for the tears, right? You would have to be at the point where you're crying. At the same time, you have to have the presence of mind to record yourself, which means that you have to check that you're well positioned. You have to make sure that you're in frame. You have to make sure you're hitting the record button, and you have to keep the crying going. And then you have to post it and edit it and all that stuff, right? So to me, these are just crocodile tears, or at the very worst, uninformed tears. She saw a couple of videos on TikTok, thought that was the truth, and then recorded that. She has since deleted this video. We cannot save the world when we cannot even save ourselves. That's what America First really means. It means taking care of our family, our own, the people here, every single one of them. We are 37 trillion in debt. And if that bubble bursts, and it's getting close to bursting, I can guarantee you no one in the entire world, will take us on. No one. We have to do this. This is the only way forward, and it's the right thing to do. There are no apologies for it. And we have to remember, why is it so important that we get these people out of here that have killed our people, that have done terrible things to our daughters? Why is it important? Take a look at this video, and I think you'll find that out.
Selena Gomez, look at this picture. This is my sister. She was 13 years of age. Taken out of this world by an illegal immigrant. And you cry for those who cause crimes against us Americans. I was serving in the United States Army during Desert Shield overseas with 1st Battalion 8th Infantry Regiment, deployed in Germany, attached to the Old Ironsides Division. I got a call from Red Cross. They pulled me out. I took the call. Thankfully, my battalion got me an emergency flight back to the States. I went from the airport straight to the hospital. I spent every single day and night, 24 hours, 7 days a week, did not leave her bedside. I washed the sheet coated 3 different times. My family could not rip me away from her. Where are the tears for those that have also had similar experiences? And you cry for criminals that are being sent back to where they belong? an illegal immigrant took her life. And you have the audacity to do what you shared today. And by the way, we're a Hispanic family. So, whoever's being deported now, good. And how they're deported, who cares? They can go back in a cart. So don't waste your tears, because there's tears across this country that are crying for the ones that they've lost because of illegal immigrants. That's all I have to say.
This is so important because it impacts so many of us. Every single creed, every single nationality. And really, I really hate that phrase. I don't know why I said it. We are one people, American folks. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American. If you were born here, if your family has lineage here, you are a citizen of this nation and you deserve to be first. And, you know, people out there, again, say, oh, well, you're xenophobic or you are racist. No, it's not that. It's that I care for my people, all my people. America first means we take care of our family first, and it has to be that way. Think about the Selena video. You know, just think about the things that were in that video that she's absolutely absent of. There's no crying for the missing 340,000 children. There's no crying for the Laken Rileys of the world and this guy's sister. There's no crying for that. There's only crying when you have a cause and a narrative to protect. And I, for one, I'm sick of that. So what is the question? The question for me today is, why do American lives matter so little to people on the left? Why does it seem like everything that is good for us and those things that make us better are things that the left are against? You don't believe me? Think about it. We want less crime in the streets. The left's hire DAs, or the people who let DAs in leftist cities that let out violent offenders who can push people down subway trains, who can do all kinds of heinous acts, and they can get out the next day. Another thing, we want our homes to be protected from fires. The left, like in California, instead, they divert the water so that the reservoirs are empty so that people can't put the fires out on their homes. We want to know who comes into our nation. The left thinks that all the people of the world should come into our lands, regardless of their intent, and God forbid, because of their intent. I will never apologize for wanting my country safe. I will never apologize for wanting my people put first. We cannot fix the world if we can't even take care of our own people. Americans must come first, and other countries should do the same for their people. That's the way the world should work. Anyway, that's been The Right Angle. We'll see you on the next one.